Coming up, the first patient diagnosed with Ebola in the U.S. died today. But is there another illness going around that may be closer to home?
Realistically, the risk of getting Ebola is extremely low.
The whole entire subdivision park's right in front of my house right here, and no service.
The fight for and against a cell phone tower heads to court. It's been one of the most unpublicized races in Georgia. We'll tell you why this election for the 10th District should turn heads. These stories and more today on Grady News Source.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady News Source.
The day after a Rowdy Perry debate, what a Southern politics expert says regarding the candidates and how they fared. Good evening, I'm Andrew James.
I'm Allie Lockoff. The CDC speaks out about the U.S.'s first Ebola death. Welcome, this is Grady News Source. Just moments ago, the CDC announced that all hospitals need to consider Ebola first when they see new patients. This is the CDC's first time speaking out since Thomas Duncan died of the disease in Dallas this morning. The reason the CDC is asking hospitals to be on alert is because there is another disease that can mimic the virus in its early stages. It's a disease that has killed thousands in the U.S. Reporter Shannon O'Keefe is live at the University Health Center to tell you why you should be as concerned about this illness as well.
Yes, Allie, that disease is the common flu, a disease that looks very similar in its early stages to Ebola. The common flu doesn't sound like much, but a professor at the University of Georgia in the Department of Infectious Diseases told me this morning that your chances of dying from Ebola are far greater at 60% than influenza. However, influenza is far more common, especially in the United States this time of year. People are already lining up, and pharmacies are gearing up to treat patients by giving flu shots. For just $31 and 10 minutes of your time, you can walk out of many local pharmacies, such as this Walgreens right behind me, with a flu shot and hopefully flu-free for the rest of the season. Unlike the flu, Ebola does not have a vaccination. UGA Associate Professor in the Department of Infectious Diseases, Mark Tompkins, says that is what scares people. As of today, in the United States, we are only at 1 death for Ebola. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says the number of influenza-related deaths each year ranges anywhere from 3,000 to 49,000 in the United States alone.
That people have comfort with it. It's the same thing like driving a car. The number of deaths due to auto accidents every year is around 33,000 deaths. So it's close to the same number that we have in influenza every year.
Tompkins says that it is an issue in West Africa, but we are in the safe zone here in the U.S. He says instead we should focus on getting our flu shots to lower the number of deaths from the common flu. Tompkins says you are more likely to die from a lightning strike than to die from Ebola. He says maybe this will bring people comfort in this time of panic. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Shannon.
The family of late Javante Darden has decided to not have the march in his honor. His mother says they have decided to cancel the march for unspecified reasons. Darden was buried at East Lawn Cemetery on Monday. Stephen McKinley is charged with murder and aggravated assault of a federal officer and is due back in federal court tomorrow. The ATF agent's name has still yet to be released. And with less than a month before you go to the polls to vote, the race for one high-profile U.S. House seat is being fought over by 2 low-profile candidates, Athens' first African-American attorney and a conservative talk show host. They are running for the 10th Congressional District. They have yet to meet in a formal debate, and it's been one of the calmest and least publicized races in Georgia. I went out to ask area party leaders and the candidates why. This is the first time an African-American has run for the U.S. Congress in Athens in over 12 years.
They didn't think a Democrat candidate had a chance in a district that Paul Brown had dominated for 12 years by doing nothing but being a Republican. They did not realize that the district had been redrawn.
Republican Jody Hice and Democrat Ken Dias are virtual unknowns with small campaign war chests. FEC numbers show that as of July, Hice had more than $74,000 while Dias had less than $6,500. In advertising, Hice spent over $20,000, Dias zero. In total campaign funds, Dias had just $31,000, whereas Hice held a war chest of over $566,000. For the Dias campaign, it's been signage just like this that have been their main form of advertising, unlike the Heiss campaign, which have used signs, newspaper ads, and TV ads. But Dias says he plans to up the advertising this month.
The money is coming in a little better now, so we're getting ready to run some ads and so forth to get that going.
Local Democratic Committee Chair John Wisenbacher thinks the newly added counties may create a level playing field. Athens GOP Chairman Matthew Brewster looks at it differently.
I think it's a safe conservative district, to be quite honest with you.
Brewster says he's never even met Dias in person, adding to the feeling this race has been so under wraps.
There's just not much discussion of this race.
This is the first time an African American has run for the U.S. And a quick correction to that story, it was Matthew Brewster was actually the Athens chairman. Dias says he is still up for doing a debate with Dr. Heiss, who was not available today. He was working on something in Gwinnett County. I did confirm through his campaign communications director that Jody Heiss would be up for a debate against Ken Dias.
Time is running out to decide who you're voting for in two big elections. Last night, the Georgia candidates for the U.S. Senate and governor excited a rowdy crowd at their political debates in Perry. I spoke with UGA political science professor Charles Bullock, an expert in Southern politics, to see who won the debates. His response? No one.
But often what happens in these debates, if there's kind of a clear winner or loser, it's because somebody trips up. Maybe somebody's simply a slip of the tongue, or they're caught flat-footed and they don't seem to know an answer. Well, no, that didn't happen.
There may not have been any slip-ups, but there were plenty of attacks. Michelle Nunn went after David Perdue for outsourcing jobs. Bullock said that statement may have silenced concerns that she wouldn't be able to attack her opponents in a strong way. Perdue responded by charging that Nunn would be nothing more than a rubber stamp for President Obama. Now, Bullock said the gubernatorial debate was the typical incumbent versus new guy scenario, with Nathan Deal drawing attention to Jason Carter's youth and inexperience, and Carter attacking Deal's record as governor, with special attention to ethics and Georgia's high unemployment rate. Bullock didn't have any specific predictions for the outcome of the races just yet, but he did say that the approval rating and political party of the U.S. president in power during midterms is often a big factor. Democratic President Barack Obama isn't popular in Georgia, which could prove challenging for Democratic candidates.
Now, with all this political conversation going on, our audience engagement specialist, Michael Food, joins us here after he posted a survey asking what is most important to you this election year.
Michael, is the survey multiple choice?
You know, Allie, it is. Now, we've taken some of the key issues that have been points of conversation, in recent debates and posted them. These include education funding, jobs, government reform, and a couple of others. Now, we posted a similar survey earlier today, but even though our results are not scientific, we did not bring you the results of that poll because we learned that one person submitted multiple responses. We've released an updated version which only allows one vote. Be sure to visit www.gradynewssource.uga.edu to take this revised survey. Now again, this is not a scientific poll, but we will update you on the responses tomorrow.
It's a waiting game for the people of Oconee County. A Verizon cell tower that was proposed to be placed in Watkinsville off of McCrease Mill Road, is pending a trial. Oconee County originally denied the request at the Board of Commissioners meeting after citizens spoke out against the construction of the tower. Reporter Jordan Lee is live outside and has more on this issue. Jordan?
I had none. Some people say that that's a big problem, while others say something else is a bigger issue. James Thomas has lived in Watkinsville for nearly 20 years. He says people are always stopping right outside his house to try and get phone service.
No service at all. The whole entire subdivision parks right in front of my house right here, and no service.
Thomas lives down the road from where the new Verizon cell tower was expected to be built before the commissioners denied it. He says he personally wants the tower, unlike some citizens who spoke out against it.
There's going to be a benefit, but it's either going to be our subdivision or somebody else's subdivision. Someone's going to have to sacrifice to have service.
This is where the meeting took place on August 5th to see if they wanted to bring better cell service to your area here in Watkinsville. They denied the proposal, however, in a 2-to-1 vote against the proposal. Oconee County Board of Commissioners Chairman Melvin Davis said that Verizon wants the tower here to improve reception.
In their proposal, what they indicated is that would improve the signal for the cell tower area, for that area of the county, so that people get a better signal on their mobile units.
I contacted the Verizon Wireless Public Relations Department, and they wouldn't comment on the issue due to pending litigation. I'm Jordan Lee with Grady News Source.
Hopefully, Mr. Thomas can get his neighbors out of his driveway after the federal hearing. The hearing will be on November 6th to decide the fate of the cell tower. Jordan Lee reporting.
Coming up,
The past years, we've been looked at as the easy win type of team, but now teams have to really, prepare for us and respect us now.
The reason these lights will not be turning on here at Oconee High School this weekend, coming up.
and later, an elementary school in Jackson County has been vacant for over a year. We'll tell you why it soon may not be vacant any longer. Coming up after the break.